Hi, I'm Kirby Allison, and I'm thrilled to be here in Havana, Cuba for the very first time, visiting this beautiful city with several of my good friends and fellow cigar enthusiasts from London. We've come for the 23rd Festival del Habanos, the most important event in the world for Cuban cigars, and of course, to explore the many examples of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition that are to be found within Cuban culture and amongst the people of this beautiful island. So join me as we travel to Havana, Cuba to explore the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition of this beautiful island and their incredible cigars. Well, gentlemen, thanks for letting me tag along.
This is one of our favorite little strolls. We take several times a visit, actually, not even once. And it's starting here, of course, in the Kempinski, but more importantly, we're getting into the Old Town.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I think you guys have got right about Cuba is, not sticking to the official agenda, slowing down the pace, and really enjoying oneself. I mean, we've been, I think, busy from morning to night, but you gentlemen are really truly taking in, the Cuban ambiance of a slightly slower pace of life.
Thank you very much, Kirby.
This is the best puff of the day, the first cigar
one.
in the morning.
What are you smoking?
And the first morning, I've got really nothing programmed as such, so it's a pleasure to spend
What is
some
it that
time
you're
with
smoking?
you. I don't even know what I'm
Don't
smoking.
even know. It's funny how this happens in Cuba.
I had so many cigars given to me on various occasions in the last couple of days that I just picked up one and I said I'll light it up and see. It's nice. It's in the format of
What's your favorite format?
Reyes, perhaps.
Could be a Reyes.
It could be. It's a nice size.
Yeah.
It's not too strong yet.
It's funny, Cuba's like a swap meet. I mean, by the end of the week, cigars have changed hands so many times that it's like, it would be possible to trace, where it actually originated from.
What are you having there? I can see.
So this is the Cueto Arce Coronas Claro, and again, I don't remember where or how I came by this, but
It's a great cigar. Lovely size to it as well. In the slim gauges we enjoy.
well, this is again kind of the perfect morning kind of size, right?
It's right down
not
my
too
road,
big,
that one.
not too overwhelming. You've got something similar.
Yes, I'm going with my San Cristobal de la Habana El Príncipe,
Okay.
which I acquired at the beginning of our
that's right.
little stroll
Part of the
there.
story.
I love this, and there's a little bit of history to this because we're going to take a stroll down O'Reilly, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And O'Reilly is one of the vitolas produced for San Cristobal. In fact, it was the 2009 book edition.
Okay.
So there's real history, and I feel like I'm bringing it home somehow.
Yeah. Well, here we are. I mean, indeed, back to where it all begins.
That's
O'Reilly Street.
O'Reilly Street,
Okay.
the famous O'Reilly Street.
So tell me about this. I mean, you've been traveling to Cuba for years, and I imagine that this is a walk that you've taken many times.
This is, well, one of the first streets we actually walked through when our first visit, I think it was 1988, it was O'Reilly Street. Two reasons. One, the name stood out. I mean, O'Reilly, and definitely not a Spanish name. And the main reason also was the head offices of Cuba Tobacco was in O'Reilly Street.
Really?
If you see the very old boxes of cigars, it will have a stamp on it saying Cuba Tobacco, and that's what it was.
And so this was the predecessor of Taba Cuba.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of the things we see in Cuba might be, the reality is Europe 30 years ago really wasn't far different. Well, the ingenuity is amazing.
Absolutely right.
It's really incredible that Habanos has been able to put out as consistently for as long as they have such high quality cigars, despite incredible challenges and constraints.
Oh, for sure.
And so in some ways, if you think about the challenges of the last few years with COVID and with the Hurricane Ivan, you know, it's that kind of, that resiliency that they've developed over decades, I think has allowed them to really just push through it.
You're absolutely right.
This must be how we get back.
We've done tuk-tuk rides.
Yeah.
I remember
Already.
Oh,
No,
not on
no,
this
this
trip, but when Shari and a few friends we came, we did a race around the old town with
A race,
tuk-tuks.
that's what I would expect.
Brilliant.
Your father, I mean, I've seen some of his photographs. I mean, what he does on a camera phone, you know, I think surpasses that of even the most talented photographer on my crew.
Well, listen, if you ever want to hire him, he's got
well,
a good daily rate.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I joke with you, and it's kind of funny. It's you're lucky that you're not selling cameras, because that could have been your fate. Because I mean, I remember your father saying that it really was between opening a Leica store and then ultimately having to decide on Davidoff. That's incredible. I mean, look at the tile work.
Greco or something, Greco.
What is this? What type of shop is it?
Baker or...
Let's go look. So this is like a repair shop.
Yeah, unbelievable. And I bet you here, if you had a faulty DuPont, they would fix it probably better than in London.
That's right. I mean, again, one of the things that all of the constraint in this country produces is, you know, really this, you know, they're such great custodians of what it is they have.
Yes.
Everything they have, they take such great care of. I mean, you probably have Timexes and watches that come through here that have been repaired and repaired and repaired, whereas anywhere else they would have probably just thrown it away.
Here, if you have a disposable Bic lighter, they turn it into a refillable lighter. Really? They retrofill them. It's unbelievable, yeah. I mean, look at this little bookshop.
Yeah.
And they got these posters here, you know, on camera, off camera. You know, we should come in and pick up some of these posters.
Una foto posible. Gracias.
Wow. So Edward, how does this bringing back memories
Oh
of...
God, it is indeed. Although it's changing, a lot of construction or reconstruction and refurbishment is being done.
But how has it changed? I mean, much or just kind of incrementally?
Not much. Not all that much, no. Considering, God, it's over 30 years now. 30, 35 years ago.
So what is the secret to smoking outdoors? I'm always so worried that my cigar is going to blow out or, you know, not burn evenly.
You just enjoy it as it comes. Occasionally turn your cigar around so the wind doesn't burn it sideways. And that's all you need to do.
This construction project here.
What is nice to see new construction.
Yes, I mean, you know, where we're from, you know, there'd be 9,000 health and safety breaches.
Yeah.
Nothing would get done, but
Well,
yeah,
I
maybe
mean,
let
in
the
that
truck
regard,
pass.
you know. But what's interesting though is I also have to bring in people from outside the country, because this level of construction is not something that is really, native. I mean, there's a lot of construction in this country. They're very skilled craftspeople, but modern construction techniques.
Yeah, you're right.
So what are the other rituals that your father has, kind of inducted you into, here in Cuba? I mean, again, your schedule has been so open in the best of ways that it's allowed you guys really to just kind of settle into what I imagine is a rhythm.
There's several things we always enjoy doing in Havana. One is what I call treasure hunting. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean finding very expensive things, whether it's old coins, whether it's badges, posters. You find stuff here that you won't find anywhere else. Yeah. And just walking around and absorbing the atmosphere, the hustle and bustle. There's a lot of people doing business in small ways, in big ways, but in most cases, no one has to do anything urgently.
Yeah.
And that feeling just permeates through the whole place.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that, kind of looking at these beautiful cigars, I mean, they're meant to be enjoyed slowly, a great cigar, right? To not be rushed. And I wonder, how much of that is a product of the fact that this is really how these are made.
Oh.
No part of the process of making a cigar is rushed, and no part of the ritual of enjoying one should be rushed.
Where else better to smoke than in the streets of Havana itself?
This is a dream come true. This is a dream come true.
And, you touched on something really interesting. This is uniquely one of the cities in the world where you can walk with a cigar at a very leisurely pace and not
be
feel
arrested,
rushed.
not be ticketed.
That's right.
Not only that, you'll be more respected.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this, I mean, again, I've not spent nearly as much time here as you gentlemen have. I mean, for every day I've spent here, you've spent a decade. But I've got such a more profound respect for these cigars as a representation of the people. I mean, this somehow captures everything that is Cuba, its people, its history, its land, its culture, is all somehow absorbed into this, stick of tobacco.
And it gives us a profound pleasure to share. Anyone who comes to Cuba feels like they've been led into a very big secret.
Yeah. Well, we'll follow you. You're our tour guide.
No,
we're passengers on this ship. Merely,
you don't need a guide here. Wherever you turn around, there's something to see.
Now,
Look at the roots of these lovely
left,
trees.
Probably. Yeah. What do you think, Dad? Left?
I think left. Hola.
Buenos dias.
Oh, Don Quixote. Definitely has to be photographed.
And here's Don Quixote.
It's a beautiful sculpture.
Sancho Panza.
Sancho Panza.
Sancho Panza.
See, I actually brought one of the Sancho Panza Sanchos with me.
Sí. Los locos.
You should come back, sit on this bench and smoke it here.
Yeah, I'd be here 2 days. You've seen that cigar.
We're from London. Our friend is from Texas.
So whenever you're shooting, are you shooting in black and white or in color?
Both. I keep on changing. I've got once it's on program, it's black and white, and if I go back to auto, it's color. I love taking black and whites, but sometimes you need to have the color.
Yes.
That's a little local flea market. It'll be too difficult to go in, I think.
I bought a stamp, a band album in this shop many years ago. They had these little booklets with the various bands of cigars on it.
It's one of the things I have not had an opportunity to do yet that I'd like to, and that is back at the exhibition center for the Habanos Festival. Mm-hmm. They have all these small booths set up, and there's actually quite a bit of cigar memorabilia.
Yeah.
Vintage bands and boxes and brochures that they're selling.
Old photographs. I picked
old
up
photographs.
Some beautiful old photographs.
I really need to go back and spend some time looking because I've got a smoking room that needs to be decorated.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing it as well, but perhaps we could go together.
Yeah.
Thank you. What a nice lighter you have.
Yeah, well, it's an Edward Sahakian lighter. It's the best there is,
It's because we put the EMS stamp of quality on it, Edward Margaret Sahakian.
Oh, is that his middle name, Margaret? No?
No, that's Mom's. Mom is Greta, but technically it's Margaret. We joke that EMS is Edward Margaret
Sahakian. That's funny.
They've got ice cream here.
We're gonna have to get some ice cream.
They've got ice cream though.
What do you think?
Perhaps later.
Okay. Well, you know, my palate could really use at some point a nice, chill.
Something a little sweet.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's tolerated all the smoking as well as it has.
Well, here, you know, your body responds. I think there must be a biological process where it sort of adapts to the local climate and makes you perfectly suited for cigars. La di cosa? I've
So Edward, I was asking, I mean, what's the ritual? I mean, what are your favorite places to kind of revisit whenever you're here?
As we're headed down, we'll come to the square where they sell old books, photographs, memorabilia. It's a lovely little place. And it's definitely one of the best places that I've spent time there. I really enjoyed walking around there. Not necessarily buying, but as much as just looking around.
Yeah. What about cigar shops? Any cigar shops that...
Well, there was a lovely shop there.
The one in Conde Villanova.
Yeah, we used to call it the Cigar Hotel.
Yeah.
But apparently that is closed.
We can maybe try and stroll past in case it's open.
Well, it would be fun to go, pop by and see if it's open.
I love this. The oldest optical shop in Cuba. Now, whether it's true or not, who knows, but not funny. What a claim to fame, right?
What a lovely morning. Thank you so much for inviting me on the stroll.
What a
It was
pleasure.
just happenstance that I stumbled upon you gentlemen at breakfast.
The excitement I get from walking with someone who hasn't perhaps done the stroll before is 10 times. I love it because it reignites my passion and my careful consideration. And you've seen things that I've missed, so it's always wonderful to have another pair of eyes. This is the bad side. People have to queue for ages to get a SIM card for their phone or top it up.
One of the allowed classes of travel for Americans is support for the Cuban people. Mm-hmm. And I can't think of any better way to support the Cuban people than to have a nice stroll and to patronize the just all of the independent small businesses.
When tourism slowed down and stopped with COVID and other challenges, it really impacted the local. You can see it. Bob, sorry.
Lo siento, señor.
No hay problema, no hay problema.
¿Qué tienes ahí? ¿Qué es? ¿Es una pescado?
Sí, pero eso es de los baby.
¿Ese es pescado chiquito?
Sí.
Ah, it's a lamb. Ah, muy bien. This is going to be someone's fantastic dinner tonight.
You better respect it. It might be our dinner for tonight.
How's your cigar coming?
It's great.
You're well prepared,
Yeah.
so I didn't bring any extra cigars with me, but I
Don't
know
you
where I
worry.
might be able to buy
Don't you
one.
worry, you've got me right next
traveling
to you.
cigar shop right here.
Mind you, you never run out of cigars in Havana.
No, that's true.
Around every corner, even if it's not the real one, you'll get off for the fake one.
I've got cigars pouring out of my pockets on this trip that unfortunately I won't be able to take back with me. Street dancers.
I think we're approaching a mini carnival. You better get in the mood of it.
Yeah. I had some salsa dancing last night. mean, I'm just in awe of what this place must have been like 70 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
Imagine.
even as recent as 30 or 40. I mean, you've got this urban decay just of the fact it's so hard to bring in building materials. But even despite that, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And if you can just see if it's restored sensitively, I mean, it will be a gem in the world, not just in the area, in the world.
I mean, it truly seems like the city itself should be like a national heritage site. Shall we? Hotel Florida. The D fell off, and so they found another D to replace it with, and it's, you know.
Slightly smaller, maybe it's the top of a P. And you have the Fleur de Lis, which is, of course, on the Monte Cristo.
You're gonna have to talk your father into sharing some of these photographs with us.
Oh, he will share all of it. It might crash your phone, but here's a barber shop.
Eddie, this is for you. It's a nice pizza shop.
Oh, wow. They've got some
There's a rumble in my
delicious looking donuts as well. Yeah, we had some pizzas whenever we visited Humidores Havana. Ernesto Aguilera. Anyway, my Spanish, despite being married to a Mexican, is terrible. But he does the most amazing handcrafted humidors, and they couldn't be any more different than Elle Bleu. We filmed that, but in its own completely magnificent way.
Yes.
I mean, they're polar opposites of one another, but each at the highest level.
Oh, yeah.
And he's the one that every year does the big Festival Humidor. So whenever we were there, he was polishing up the Cohiba Humidor.
Ooh.
It was all in parts and, behind, sheets so we couldn't see it. But I'm told it's really something magnificent. I think he was saying like 500 Cohiba cigars. Can you imagine?
That's going to go for millions.
I'm really looking forward to Friday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look at that Gallabetta. I'm picking up my Gallabetta from Emiliano Nelson this afternoon.
The next time you come to London, especially if the weather's a little better, bring one of your Guayaberas with you, and I promise you I'll wear mine at the shop despite my wife's protestations.
We shall do it. I think what we need to do, the next time we're in London when we sit down and smoke, we should all wear our Gallaberas and just for the nostalgia, for the memory of having been here. I mean, one of the other things I really appreciate about Cuba and Havana is just how strong the family values are. I mean, you still see, very strong, intact family units.
Yes.
I mean, the commitment and just the amount of time that the parents spend with their children is incredible. One of the favorite things I've seen on some of these tours is just, the parents walking their children to school in the morning, all in their uniforms.
Yeah, have you noticed how all the school children have different color-coded shirts
Yes.
by the year they're in?
Oh, is that how it's done?
Oh, yeah. And there's the red, the blue, the white, and impeccable, Oh, God, look at this place.
With their little bandanas. Oh, wow, look at this. This is a little clothing shop. I mean, there's truly more to see than there's time to do it.
Yeah, you're right. But that's why you have to, put it in your diary for next year almost. As you leave Havana, you think, okay, I'm coming back next year because there is all these things to see still.
I'm going to try to make it an annual birthday trip for Bianca.
That would be wonderful.
Hopefully I have the same, coincidence, dates.
Next time you guys are going to come, I might bring Jacqueline with me. I would love Jack and Jacqueline to hang a little bit.
I'm sure they'd get along.
They would enjoy very much. And that's a very famous square. I forget the name of it. This is a very old drugstore. This is the one with all the amazing jars. And
Is it? Oh, we can enter. It's open. We must go in. This reminds me of like Santa Maria Novella. This is incredible.
Canica is good. Yes.
Buenos dias.
Pardon?
Podemos entrar? You know, this reminds me of the Farmacia Santa Maria Novella in Florence. That is like 500 years old with all these old porcelain jars. Alex, do you mind asking kind of brief history?
A ver si nos pudieran brindar una historia breve como tal del establecimiento, cuándo fue creado, su propósito como tal.
Este lugar es museo de farmacia,
This would be the Museum of Pharmacy,
fundado en
Las Fásicas.
1898 por
1898 it was created
el doctor Francisco Taquechel,
by the Dr. Francisco Taquechel.
cubano de origen francés.
He was a Cuban from with French origin.
Todo los frascos y el material que se encuentra acá
All the
es
flasks and the materials are completely
Original.
original.
Wow.
porcelana francesa, cerámica
French
española.
porcelain, Spanish ceramic. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Y actualmente comercializamos productos nacionales
And currently we sell and commercialize Cuban traditional products
de origen natural.
of natural origin,
Yeah.
organic.
Like
Cuba
what?
has a very strong
Por ejemplo.
tradition of homeopathic medicine.
Por ejemplo.
Por ejemplo, productos de placenta humana,
For example, these specific products come from
el PPG que es para reducir niveles de colesterol triglicéridos,
PPG decreases the cholesterol levels. So
de caña de azúcar, alcoholes de la caña de azúcar,
with an alcoholic phase of sugarcane.
plantas
That's right.
medicinales con diferentes usos.
Medicinal herbs with different uses, of course.
Sí.
Wow.
Y esto que es tenemos una relación con una MIPYME.
iHavon, is that
Una
soap?
pequeña empresa
This is a
privada
special collaboration with a private company, a cooperative,
que produce cosmética.
produce cosmetics. So this would be
Natural.
one of the first collaborations with that company. All natural, all organic.
Wow. Is that a bar of soap?
¿Esa es una barra de jabón? ¿Está preguntando?
Sí, jabón.
Yeah.
Jabón de caléndula y manzanilla.
Artesanal.
Son
Yeah.
artesanales
It's like-
naturales.
Craft, it was handmade, so it's a very traditional product, and
What-
organic as well.
Puedo ver?
Sí.
I'm gonna have to buy a few things. Hope you gentlemen don't mind.
Not at all.
Wow, you ask her if she has any, teas or herbs that she recommends.
¿Tiene alguna hierbas o té que recomiende? Comprar.
Para mi esposa.
Para su esposa.
Son infusiones
Con diferentes fines, con
Different teas, of course, all organic with different it depends on what you want to
para diabetes, para
Diabetic,
los
so-
riñones, antiinflamatorios,
the kidneys,
digestivos,
defensa de
inflammatory, enhances defenses of the system,
para
etc.
afecciones respiratorias.
In order to fix the
Yeah.
respiratory system, so
Yeah.
just name an ill and that can fix it.
Anything that would help my wife better tolerate and enjoy the smell of cigar smoke.
Okay. Necesita algo que
Para
relaja
diarrea.
No, para
Que la relaje.
No, que relaja a su esposa y que le permita tolerar un poco más el olor a habano sin pelear tanto.
Ay,
Que
tabaco.
fume ella. Teresa.
Nada de eso.
Algo contra el mareo también
Por
puede
la
funcionar.
otra, por la otra.
No tengo eso, sí.
Nothing related with the color
Y le gusta mucho el habano.
What about for stress relief and relaxation?
¿Qué tal algo para antiestrés y relajación?
No, de eso no tengo nada.
Havana is the answer to
Mira,
that.
Yeah, I
¿cuál
think
es
so.
esa para revitalizante?
Revitalizing
Eso es
salts.
para bañarse con esas sales.
You take a bath with those salts and you forget about it, all about it. So.
Me puedes traer dos más de estos y dos de estos? Y, I'd like, kind of a few other.
Esto es una infusión. Se
This
pone
is
el
a
agua
traditional
caliente.
infusion. You just put it on hot water.
El contenido de sobre es
Boil
para
the
un
water.
litro, pero si va a ser una
Gracias.
taza, es una cucharada.
That can
Yeah.
work for a whole liter, but if you want to make just a cup, it would be one spoon. That's
Okay.
it.
Dos más
Dos jabones
jabones.
más, por favor.
Ay, manzanilla creo que no quedan más. El del mostrador.
God, what a charming shop.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
I mean, this entire city is literally just one big museum. Buena.
What medical benefits does smoking cigars impart?
¿Conocen los beneficios médicos de fumar habanos?
Ay, no.
Todos.
Muchas.
Ustedes presentaron su producto.
Just look at this, guys, living proof of the medicinal benefits of a daily cigar.
Beneficios del Habano para nosotros también.
Bien por la sanidad, how do we say?
¿Todo bien?
Especiales.
Gracias. ¿Todo bien? Está bien. Por favor.
Oiga, qué bien, gracias. Qué bueno. Qué bueno que les gusta.
Sí, gracias por todo.
Que nos visitan. Todo bueno.
Keep visiting us.
Ah, cada año. Cada año.
Qué bueno.
Gracias por todo.
Muchos
Le explicaste de la farmacia.
Sí, le dije todo lo que...
Thank you so much on behalf of the whole family.
La caja es
la caja es norteamericana. Eso sí no se lo digo.
$2, Alan?
Es de 1890.
No kidding.
1890 es la caja.
1890s, like, yeah.
Y la usamos.
Es la que usamos.
And
Wow.
it keeps working.
Así.
Probably it's breaking as well.
Es national, aquí tiene el...
Incredible. Wow.
Here's something about Hemingway.
Let's see, what is this? En este hotel ambos mundos vivió durante Ernest Hemingway. Buenas.
Buenas.
Hola, ¿cómo están? Yeah, we went to the Buena Vista Social Club for Bianca's birthday. If Jacqueline comes, we must all go together.
Oh.
And I mean, we went for her birthday, and she had the time of her life. You know, as an American, I mean, you know, we see very little architecture like this, just given how young of a country it is. Look at the anchor up here. You know,
Oh, yeah?
You see it, Edward? Look at the anchor.
Yeah, and one of the cannons.
Yeah.
The mosaics here, beautiful. And it reminds me, the mosaic tiles remind me a little bit of the Portuguese you get in Lisbon. And yet, here we are in, it's really an ex-Spanish colony.
Oh yeah. Which king's crest would that be?
No idea.
Come on, Eddie. Didn't you memorize all this in school?
Well, let's have a look. This plaque, oh, I can speak English. Their Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, Duchess of Cornwall. Oh, wow, King Charles.
I told you during the summer we were in Mallorca, right, visiting the Carmina shoemaking factory, which made these beautiful spectators I'm wearing today. But in Mallorca, I mean, just like Havana, it was such an old and such a well-preserved city. I mean, it was never destroyed. You'd walk on the cobblestones, and for days I was convinced that they must have been polishing and varnishing these cobblestones because they were so shiny. And finally I found a tour guide or something and was able to pose the question, and they were completely natural, just shined from people walking over
on them. Amazing.
Over the centuries. I wonder if I posted this, if it would make it in. This is nice. Look at this one. I think I might take this one.
Which one? Oh, it's Kirby.
No, I'll get it.
You have some more there as well.
Bookmarks. I'm gonna get this one for Nathaniel to remind him if he's not on top of his studies. I'm gonna send them to
Well, he probably
public school here.
He might not have.
Yeah. Let me get a bookmark for Nathaniel. Let me grab one for Paloma as well. It's okay. Gracias a todos.
Gracias, buen día.
Muchas gracias.
I think now it's time for coffee, and I know just the perfect place where to have it.
Sounds like a great idea.
Let's do it.
What a beautiful hotel.
This was our stopover with Desmond South.
Oh, really?
His wife Pamela. Used to always end up having our coffees here.
Yeah, so many memories. Please.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you, Dad.
What a beautiful place for a nice drink.
Oh.
I think we're well entitled to one after that nice walk.
I think so.
Absolutely.
Well, gentlemen, what a walk.
Wow.
And I can't tell you what a privilege it is to be here in Cuba. I mean, this is literally a dream come true.
Kirby, you made our walk the most special yet I've had in Havana. And what a treat it is to be with a dear friend like you on your first one through.
Indeed. And thank you for sharing,
What a pleasure.
of course, this great
We have to thank
memory.
you, Kirby, for this.
Eddie.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Please forgive
yeah.
my coffee for the
well.
toast. Cheers.
You're good health, yeah.
It's delicious. Exactly what I needed.